آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رحمة للعالمين، وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا خاتم النبيين. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مدى يا واسع الكرم. Alhamdulillah, endless praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to congregate here on the day of Jumu'ah. Let's spare a moment and remember our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters around the world who are suffering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow His infinite mercy and blessings upon the entire ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Today is the 18th day of the month of Zul Hijjah. And this day marks a very, very significant event. How? We know that after the passing of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from this temporary world, we had the four rightly guided Caliphs, the Khulafa Rashideen, rightly guided Caliphs. First one being Sayiduna Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala an, the second one being Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala an, and the third one being Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an, and the fourth one being Hazrat Ali radiyallahu ta'ala an. Today, the 18th of Zul Hijjah, marks the day of the Shahada, the martyrdom of Sayiduna Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an. Now, Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an has got a very, very high ranking within the companions themselves. He radiyallahu ta'ala an is one of the Ashra Mubashra, one of the 10 companions who were promised Jannah in their lifetime whilst they're alive. And he also has another title, which is Dun Nurain, meaning the one with two lights. Reason behind this was he radiyallahu ta'ala an was married to Hazrat Ruqayya, the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when she passed away, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave his other daughter, the third daughter, Hazrat Kulthum radiyallahu ta'ala anha, in his marriage as well. So he was known as the one with two lights. How did Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an in the early days, how did he accept Islam? We know that the first person to hear the message of the wahi, of the revelation, was none other than our mother, Sayyidah Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anha. And the second, the man was none other than Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala an, and then there was a slave who accepted Islam, and then we had Hazrat Ali as a boy who accepted Islam. The person that Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq approached to convey the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an. So unlike any others, Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an didn't question the message, and he accepted Islam straight away. And there's another title that we assign to Hazrat Uthman, and that is Ghani. Ghani meaning open-handed. And the reason behind this was Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an, he would never leave any moment where he would spend extravagantly in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when it came to haya, modesty, once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reclining in his chamber with Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq entering, and the blessed shin of our beloved Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam was exposed. And when Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala an entered, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not cover his blessed shin. Then Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala an walks in, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam still does not cover his shin. Then when Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala an walks in, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sat up, right? and he covered his blessed shin. So after our mother Amma Aisha, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I noticed that when my father Abu Bakr as-Siddiq came, you did not cover your shin. When Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala an came, you did not cover your shin. But when Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an came, you covered your shin. You covered the area which was exposed. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied to our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha that, oh Aisha, why should I not have haya? Why should I not have haya in front of Uthman, whom the angels have haya from? The angels are shy from him as well. Like he has so much haya. So this was Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an. And when it comes to spending in the way of Allah and the love, that the immense love he had for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, once he invited Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for a meal. He requested Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to come over to his house for a meal. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam accepted the invitation. And as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was walking towards the house of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, he done something very strange. Very, very strange in fact. He radiallahu ta'ala an, Hazrat Uthman he went in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he turned his back towards the path and faced Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's writing something down as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is approaching his house. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam noticed this quickly and he asked, "Oh Uthman, what is it that you're doing? What are you doing?" And Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I am counting how many footsteps you are taking towards my house. I am counting how many footsteps you are taking towards my house." He said, "Uthman, and what? When you count, what is the purpose of you counting how many footsteps I'm taking towards your house?" He said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, however many footsteps you will take towards my house, I will sacrifice that many camels in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as sadaqah. I will give that much in charity in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, however many steps you take towards my house." Subhanallah. He's given the title of Uthman Ghani, open-handed. Very, very open-handed when it comes to spending in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the time of his Khilafat, there was a great fitna going about. And there is no comparison between the great companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and our time now. But if you have a difference, for example, if one politician has got a difference with another politician, but they represent the same country. From where I come from, Pakistan, there is assassination attempts. They will try to eliminate you permanently. They will go as far as getting rid of you. They don't care. You are the same religion, you are a Muslim. This is happening day in, day out in Pakistan. The followers of a certain party, when it comes to their party, they don't have that much passion for Allah and His Prophet ﷺ, how much they have for their leader. They have so much passion for their leader that a son will argue with his father over who, if the father is following one party and the son is following another party, they will have an argument, and sometimes it will get to the extreme. But look at Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an. He was on the haqq, he was right. And the ones opposing him were fellow Muslims. And what did Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an say? I do not want to be the cause I do not want to be the cause of the Muslim blood being spilt. I don't want to be the cause of Muslim blood to be spilt. And Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, he did not want to fight. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala an commanded his two sons, our Imams, our leaders in Jannah, Hazrat Imam Hassan and Hazrat Imam Hussein, to go and stand guard at the door of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, in order to protect him from these attacks. And the house of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, it was surrounded. And they wanted to assassinate Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an. And this siege on the house of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an lasted many days. In one narration, it's 40 days. And there was no water allowed or no food provision allowed in his house. Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an would fast during the day, recite the Quran, and he would pray during the night. And he would fast with water only. And when the perimeter was breached of the house and the attackers climbed from the roof from above the house and they entered the house of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, he was reciting the Holy Quran. He was reciting the Quran. And when they entered his house, they pulled Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an by his blessed beard. And when they pulled the beard of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, one of the Muslims who pulled his beard, Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, said to him that your father used to respect my beard. And look at what you're doing. Before this, Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an had a dream. In his dream, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam came and informed him that, "O Uthman, you are fasting today and your iftar will be with us in Jannah. Your fast, you will break with us in Jannah." So Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an had already embraced himself for shahada, for martyrdom. So when these attackers entered his house and they tried to humiliate him, and as they were trying to strike him with the sword, his wife, the wife of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, she put her hand forward in order to stop the attack, and her fingers were cut off. And the blood spilt on the Holy Quran. And Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an was brutally martyred. He became a shaheed. This is Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, who Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave his two daughters to marry, known as the one with two lights, known as the one with the most haya, most modesty, most shame, known as Usman al-Ghani, the one who is open-handed because of the way Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an would spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today is the day of his martyrdom, 18th of Zulhijjah. So when you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate his rank, and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather us with him in Jannah, in Al-Firdaus al-A'la. in the neighborhood of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam promised Jannah whilst he's alive. And yet, look at their way of life. I always say this, if you want to boost your iman and your love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you should study these companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Study these companions. You go to Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala. How was that? You know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned once in front of the companions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked one of his servants, do you want to remain here on this earth, or do you wish to meet your Lord and, you know, leave this temporary world? And the servant chose to unite with his Lord and leave this temporary world. And the companions, may Allah be pleased with them all, they all just took this as a servant. You know, it could be anyone Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is speaking about. But Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala sitting in the gathering is shedding tears. He is crying profusely. And the companions, may Allah be pleased with them, they said, oh Abu Bakr, why are you crying? He said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is speaking about himself, that he has chosen to return to his Lord. So, the love they had for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala, you know, the mighty Umar, he was very outspoken, very strongly built. And, you know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he had made the dua, that, oh Allah, strengthen Islam with Umar. And the dua was accepted. And Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala, when he accepted Islam, it was only then that the Muslims openly went and prayed in front of the Kaaba. Before that, it was only Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam who was praying in front of the Kaaba in the open. But when Umar radiyallahu ta'ala became a Muslim, and some narration says he was the 40th man to accept Islam, he openly, you know, said that I've become a Muslim. If anyone has a problem, come. And this mighty Umar, look what Islam done to him. Once he was sitting in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he looked at the beauty, the blessed face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and couldn't hold his emotions. He said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I love you. I love you more than the whole world, everything it contains, more than my parents, my wife, my children, everything, but not more than my own life, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, oh Umar, your Islam, your Iman, you have not tasted the sweetness of Iman, or your Iman is not complete till you love me even more than the whole world and everything it contains, even more than your own life. And straight away, in an instant, he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now I love you more than the whole world and even my own life. Like spontaneously, instantly, you know, they would flip. Anything Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they would adopt it straight away. You know, no questions asked, no ifs, no buts. And today, you know, when you're told something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, mentioned this in the Quran, or Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said this, you know, we question it. You know? But look at the Iman of the companions, may Allah be pleased with them. And this is why we say, radiyallahu ta'ala, and after every companion we speak of, may Allah be pleased with them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite us with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his blessed companions in Jannatul Firdaus, in the neighborhood of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagul mubin.